Today in class, we're going to take your still life that you made last week, and we're going to look at the texture and the patterns and even the shadows underneath the pumpkins and gourds, and add those details in with a few oil pastels and a shading pencil. You do need to pay attention to your photograph that you're working from so you can get ideas of what patterns you might use to show the shape and form of that pumpkin or gourd. And you can see the lines that I drew, and sometimes I used one color and sometimes I used more than one. And then on the stems I put my lines a little closer together. On the gourd in the front that's kind of like a flower, I chose just to kind of outline to draw more attention to that shape. Let's look at this composition. You need to see that I'm going to take and again kind of outline around the flowery shape, mostly giving it a little more definition because it is up close. It's the closest one to you. And then on the one behind, I'm going to make those lines that are slightly curved. They are not straight, they are slightly curved, giving that pumpkin a form. And then I'm adding a lighter color just to give it a little more roughness and texture. And then I noticed on this one, it really has some cool kind of bumps and pattern that I can add on part of the pumpkin with another color. So you have to look and see what's unique to your picture and to your composition. Then on the stem, I'm going to add texture. And again, I'm trying to just help give it more form. And on the darker stems, I use a lighter color. Then on the last pumpkin, the one in the back, again, I'm putting curved lines. They are not straight, they're curved, so that it looks more rounded, more three-dimensional. And I'm going back kind of adding a pattern, a texture to that gourd because it has sort of a bumpy, lumpy kind of texture to it. What kind of texture does your pumpkin or gourd have? Have you taken a look to see? And then I'm adding texture to the stem again. These are all done with oil pastel. Now we're going to take a closer look at what the shadow is. That's that darker color underneath the gourd. You're going to be using a Ebony pencil, which is a pencil that has soft lead in it, and it allows you to get some really good darks. I'm lightly sketching kind of a curved shape that mimics the shape of that pumpkin or gourd. And then any area that's right up close to that gourd is shaded in a little bit darker. So you have to press down a little harder. You don't have to scrub it, but just press down a little harder because that area right up close is the darkest part of the shadow. And then as the shadow comes away from the object, it's going to get a little bit lighter. And you can kind of see that on your picture if you look close. Up close to the object it's darker, and then as it comes away it gets lighter. To make it lighter, you just don't press down as much. You just lightly color with the pencil. And then around the outside edge, you don't draw a hard line, but you just let it touch softly with your pencil, giving it an edge but not an outline. And that takes some practice, but that's why we're teaching it to you in the 4th grade, is so that you can practice. So that's the shadow on the first pumpkin or gourd. Then you have to look again at the picture and see how is that second shadow. It's going to be a little different. Where does it begin and end? And again, the shadow is darker up close to the pumpkin and then gets lighter as it comes away. And then look at the last one and see where it shows. It doesn't necessarily wrap all the way around. It just reflects down on the table. And then that just makes it look a little bit more realistic.